This works this time. Looks like it's loading. It says I'm being live streamed.
Hey, welcome to LeadSnap. We're excited to have
Every time that YouTube thing loads. All right. Cool. We're live.
Did you make me co-host?
I did.
Cool.
You're all good. What's up, everybody? How we doing? We got Neil back from the Northeast, unless you took your chair up to the Northeast.
Too cold up there, man.
Yeah. There's a blizzard going on right now there, huh?
I'm back in the sunshine.
Yeah. Cool, man. It's good to see your face, man. Welcome back. I know it's been a rough couple of weeks there. Who else? We got Will on here. We got two Wills. Got Brian Jones tuning in. My old friend Shannon. How are you doing?
Good.
We don't get to see your smiling face today, huh?
No, I'm on the exercise bike.
Oh, good for you.
So,
Yeah. Starting off the year right, huh?
so I figured, yeah, I'm not looking so good. But if I have to, I'll tune in.
Yeah, no worries. I always like the video when people are on there. It kind of makes them feel like they're more engaged. Cool. So awesome. Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed the holidays with your families and friends, if you are ones that celebrate those. And New Year's, we are still in Barcelona. I've got just a few more days and we're headed back, hopefully after this blizzard. Otherwise, maybe I'll be stuck here for a little bit. But I don't know about you guys, if you've been away from the United States or you've been away from your home for a long time, it's always nice to come home. So I'm excited to get back and kind of get into a place where everything's familiar. Today I tried to go jog on the beach, and I got stuck with the kiosk in the subway station for about half hour trying to understand Catalan, and it was a mess. But yeah, I'm excited to go back to the mainland for me. But let's hear who's got some wins. We got some wins today.
Yeah, I've got a win.
What do you got, Neil?
All right, here we go.
Sounds like you got a presentation or something here.
Hear me?
Yeah. What's the win, man?
Just brought on a new customer, and the nice new client. The nice thing is I'm getting better at it, and I'm being more upfront and just explaining the whole system. I'm not leaving things to chance, because I'm trying not to waste time. And it's a higher end niche, and I just telling them how the whole thing works. I'm going to give you a little bit of trial, but there's going to be, a lot of money coming from you to me.
Yeah, I like it, man. Sounds like you're
What's that?
kind of getting more comfortable with the whole situation. I know that you always had the comfortability with the sales side of things, but it sounds like you're starting to understand the business model, and you're like kind of getting a baseline for how things should be.
Because there's all customers are different, and I'm trying to weed out the bad apples up front,
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel really confident with this guy. So
Awesome. Congrats on the new trial. Hopefully he's going to become a customer. We got Patric. He says, Neil, would you mind sharing what you say up front to a client? How do you weed out the bad apples? Just I want to make sure we keep this moving quickly.
okay.
But just give us like maybe a 60, 90-second rundown.
Well, basically, this guy answered the phone. I said, hey, look, this one's a concrete, but I think it's going to be a higher end one. And I said, my concrete guy is retired, and I got a lot of work for him, and I'm looking for someone to fill his shoes. I'm hoping that's going to be you. And then he starts asking questions. Are you Angie? I'm like, no. And I started breaking the whole thing down for him. And I said, look, if you're not making money, I'm not making money. So I'm going to do everything I can in my power so that you're making a lot of money, so I can make a lot of money. And
Yeah.
then I
You
started.
guys,
Go ahead.
I think the important thing here is the pattern interrupt, right? You have a story that makes sense and it sounds legit. And this immediately separates you from other people that are pitching. No one, other people aren't calling up and saying like, hey, I was working with this guy and he's retiring, and now I have this stuff here. What should we do? Like that doesn't sound like a pitch so much. And that's really important to have that component be a part of it. I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah. Was that did you have like follow-up pieces to it, or you're pretty much good?
I asked other questions too, like what's your minimum? How far booked out are you? Just so I know this stuff ahead of time, make sure I have all his, contact information and who's in his organization. The big thing is how far booked out he is. If he's booked out 6 months, I'm going to move on.
Right.
That happens a lot. So,
yeah.
So this guy, he texted me right away, great, I got this. He's been in business 20 years, so he's solid. I love his name. It's not Jose, it's Josue.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
Like, if we go suave, it's really. So
Very
I would do
cool. Yeah, we're going to be down your way. Anyone in Florida, we're going to be down there in the around the 5th to 10th of February. So anyone watching live or in the replay, hit me up. I think we're thinking about organizing a little mastermind down there and having like some sort of group meetup. Nothing too formal or serious, but if you're in that area, reach out to me. And
Where are you at, Neil? In Florida?
Sarasota. And just so you know, my house is available and
for everyone.
Normal.
Everyone.
Yeah. I mean, if everybody wants to show up, we can walk out back. We can hit golf balls. We can, tiki bar, or then we can mastermind. Plenty of seating.
Nice. I like it. Sounds like
How long can we stay?
through the winter. So
I got a quick win. I got a real quick win here, Patrick.
Yeah, Greg. What
Sort of a win. So one of the first demos that I ever did following your method using the heat maps, I have a business coach down in Houston, and he hooked me up with a guy, and he just emailed me this morning and said, hey, he's ready to move forward. So he wants to set up a Zoom call. So
heck yeah.
That was like back in November. He said, I just got to finish out the year. I was patient with him. I didn't try to push him. And it's kind of really funny because it's just a testament to your software. Whenever he came on there, I could see it in his face, and he was like this right here. He was very closed up. So I knew from doing sales, I had to get him to open up his arms, right? And I can't hand him a pen. But anyway, so he goes, yeah, I'm really not wanting to do anything. I'm really not wanting to, do any, SEO. I've done all this stuff before. He was basically just telling me no. And I just ignored him. I said, okay, yeah, I totally understand. Not here to say, let me just show you where you're at. And I already taken his name. I already did some categories, and I already pre-did some heat maps for him. So I had it already done. I said, let me just show you what I found. No sales deal. I'm saying, here's where you're at. Here's where your competition's at. And I basically just went through the heat maps and showed him different things. And you should have seen his eyes light up. Well, his eyes just kind of went like this, and his whole demeanor, his face dropped from going, like, I'm not going to buy anything, to like, bing, I got it. So I got a call with him. I sent him over a link to set up a Zoom call. So he says he wants to move forward. So anyway, that's mine. We can move forward.
Awesome, man. Congrats on that. That's a really cool win. Any of you guys out there that let's do this, whether you're throw it maybe into Facebook, two things. Just throw where you guys are. I'm still trying to build these connections. That's part of what the accountability groups are. And then second is if you know somebody else that you think would benefit from this call, just tag them. And we're trying to grow the impact. We haven't put a lot of effort into trying to build out this group, but that's one of our goals for 2022. So if you have somebody that would benefit from this, then just like tag them so that they could potentially jump on here. What else we got? Who else has some wins?
I got a quick one.
Yeah, Will, what's up, brother?
What's up? We, building off that exercise you and I did on the call before the end of the year, applying that boulders, rocks, pebbles, sand approach has been really helpful in keeping me on track with every task that needs to be done, and then delegating those as well. So I've got the whole business into pretty much a spreadsheet that we're tracking for the next 90 days. It's basically, and then each week we have a call with the VAs, kind of set the agenda for what tasks need to be done and move that spreadsheet forward. And then within that, one customer that I had on a trial, we just got them into to become a paying customer this week. So
Awesome.
hopefully by the end of the month, that's an even more frequent story.
Yeah, man. It sounds like you've kind of got a direction, and you've got some plans now. I was meeting with my team on Monday. We do the same thing that I was sharing with you guys. I've got a lot of things that we're kind of cooking right now, and I don't like to present the stuff until we've kind of got it dialed in a little bit. We were going through our team meeting, and one of the things that is obvious to me, and I've heard this from a lot of entrepreneur coaches and stuff, is most businesses don't die from starvation. They die of like indigestion. So us trying to do too many different things, right? And when you plan things out and you have like things structured from like, hey, this is what we're going to be focusing on. Like, this is why it was important on that call. I think that was 2 weeks ago, right, Will? Where we're saying like, hey, we're going to pick the main thing. So it's a good idea to kind of have like one goal that you're really going after. And for you, I believe there was like a market somewhere that we were really zoning in. I think it was in Toronto, that we were like, hey, we're going to focus on this market, right? And then what you don't want to do is choose 10 and then you get 0 of them because they're just like barely move up a little bit. If you can get 1 to move, you can always go on to the next one, right? And you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. That's not what I'm saying, but have a main goal that is your main focus. And what this does related to this like indigestion starvation thing is you need a structure to say no to things, right? So one of our managers asked on our meeting this week, like, hey, are these going to be our goals the whole time? Or like, are we going to get pulled in these other directions because we have referrals and all this other stuff coming in? So once we have like built a plan for what we believe, when we're in like a clear mind and we're taking our time and we're planning things out of where we're going to go, now we have a structure to say no, because this is the plan we came up with, and this is what we believe to be our best route to meet our goals. And anything that's not a part of this plan is going to derail us from these goals, right? So it might change after the first quarter somewhat. And so I think it's really, it's kind of like this. If you don't have any plans and, you don't know where you're going, it's like you like, if like, maybe I'm going to go to California, but let me go down to Texas and I'm going to go this other direction here. But if I've got my flight booked and everything, then like, this is where I'm going. I'm just going to say no to everything else, right? I've got it laid out. This is, and that's kind of how these goals are. If you don't do that, you're going to be zigzagging all over the place, right? So, yeah, I think that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you took that learning experience to heart, Will, and it's congrats on the client. I believe that this is going to be a repeat thing for you. I've seen a lot of people kind of make that mindset shift. So awesome. Cool. Who else has some wins? What else we got?
I've got a win.
What you got, Devon?
Yeah, so playing off of what you were just talking about with that starvation versus indigestion, you and I had a call close to a month ago. It was right before you left for Barcelona, and it really hit home for me talking about that indigestion, where I was working on ranking so many sites at once and in poor niches that I was making very slow progress, right? And just not a lot coming in, especially when I was getting close to the finish line because the ticket size was way too small. Last 2 days, I've had 2 different leads come in a niche that I haven't worked on too much, but the site's been up and there's no GMB. But the 2 leads that have come in, they've been quoted for a total of $11,800. And this is for a client that I've had for a while. And so we're on a 10% commission and it's always been really smooth. So it's like to actually see like such a tangible difference where it's like, if I make just under $1,200 from 2 leads on a site that has 4 pages in a very big market, like compared to working my ass off for like a junk removal site that, has to be in a huge area for maybe $1,000 a month. It's insane.
Yeah. Let's recap that call a little bit, because I think there's a good lesson in there. That conversation I had with you a month ago, I remember it well. And it's not the first time I've had that conversation. So just the situation, Devon's been in for a little while. He's been in the game for a little while. And He picked some niches that are like one niche in particular that is a combination of it's hard to rank in, right? And it's ranking in it is not a fruitful result either. And that's a really common pattern that exists. So for instance, do you mind if I share the niche? I know that you're not thrilled with it.
It's junk removal. You can
Junk
share.
removal.
There's
He's in junk removal. So here's the problem.
Wasn't junk
It's not hard
removal.
to start a junk removal business. So that is going to create a lot of competition. And the leads from junk removal are not worth a lot. So when you finally make it to the top of this mountain, you're not going to be like raking in the dollars, right? So it's businesses that are harder to start, there's less of them. So you want to I'm not telling you to like target people building rockets, because that's a really hard business to start, right? You need to balance it, right? And make sure. But if you choose the niches that are harder to start, where the average ticket cost is high, what you're going to end up with is a site that's easier to rank, which is what you found, right? You found something that is like 4 pages and it's already bringing in leads, and the leads are worth way more than what you were doing previously. And when you start stacking up like 10, 15, 20 of these, this is when you start bringing in 10, 15, 20, $30,000 a month, right? It's way easier than it seems, right? When you're on the, when you're on the other side of it, you're struggling with it, and you're, at $1,000 or $500 a month, and you're like looking at these people that are doing big numbers, it can be misleading to think that they're so far ahead of you. But it's kind of like you've got this circle, and you're walking up this mountain, and you just keep on going around. And then one day you have this bright idea that, hey, there's a pathway right through the middle of this circle that I can take that's going to get me there way faster. And it's just like, wow, this is easier. This is just like, it's a path that's carved already, right? So it's not like a small adjustment can make a huge difference in this game. So for those of you guys that are struggling with this, you might just be one adjustment away from everything changing, right? And the mistakes that we make show us that we need to make an adjustment. It doesn't, like, some of you guys are I've heard some of you guys give up on things. And, a lot of times people are asking if I want to buy their sites. And my first thought process is like, I'll buy your site. I mean, I'll put it with ours and we'll turn that into something, but like the bigger, let's not quit. Let's make some adjustments here, and let's make it more profitable and stay in the game. Right. So congrats, Devon. I love hearing that you're crushing that, man. That's cool, man. I know that's gonna make a big difference for your bottom line as you start to add these. I know you're somebody that's been working at this and working and like you're not slacking off. And it's frustrating when you're not getting the results and you're putting in that work. But now you've got all the skills and you're just going to apply it a little bit differently,
Yeah, well, having one lead come in and it bring me $820 helps a lot. So
Yeah, super cool, man. Sometimes you're just playing in the wrong game,
Exactly.
Cool. Who else has got some wins?
I got some wins, Patrick.
My man, Spencer. What's up, brother?
Sup, dude? Man, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but this prospecting method of yours is crushing it. I just collected, I don't know if you guys can see this. It's blurring it. Check for $3,500 today.
Oh.
One for $2,000 yesterday. Honestly, it's like the one thing I know last week I talked about the huge month that we had in December, 25K months. This $3,500 check was supposed to come in last month, but it didn't. I'm not mad because, first couple of days of the year starting off with a bang here. But I was just having this conversation today with Jen, my girlfriend, and honestly, like, I've never made $2,500 in a month ever in my life. Never have I ever heard of, like, I grew up super poor. My mom made $20,000 a year. I made like more in 1 month last month than she did in a year when she was raising us as kids. And so when I start thinking about it, honestly, that's like our mindset is really what has been narrowing me a lot. And $10,000 months, that was huge, man. To make six figures, that I was like, wow, this is amazing. But when I got to the top of the mountain, I was like, that's it. Like, that's it. Like, like there's not like, you know, I didn't save the princess. I didn't do any of that. And
You didn't have to fight a dragon. You didn't. It was
yeah,
like,
I didn't have any of that. And so honestly, like my mindset now for $25,000 months is how do I sell 5 to 6 websites a month, just on top, let alone all the residual stuff coming in from lead gen. And like, I just want to encourage people to stop thinking so small, because, you know, 10K months, that's great. But how do you get to that 7-8 figure numbers? And it's by, number one, I think last week we talked about how do you put together a team to help with your fulfillment, and how much that has helped people, especially myself, be able to get to where I am now, because now I can just focus on selling and having sales conversations with people. And Jeff totally understands this, because, you know, he's not doing the fulfillment himself. He's selling and things. So yeah, anyways, it's just the beginning part of the year starting off huge, and I'm excited. I'm excited to figure out how to do 25K months regularly, at least.
man, I'll tell you guys, this is why I do these calls right here. This is my favorite part of the calls. And when you guys get into it and share these big wins, it like, here's the downside is I'm not going to be able to sleep as well, because I'll be thinking about this shit when it's time for me to go to bed, of like the impact that we're having when you fill in that Maslow's pyramid of needs and you're like, your stuff is met. Like you're going to start, Spencer, I know where your heart is with things. So maybe you've been there for a long time, but once you are like financially stable with everything, then you start really shifting your focus towards having an impact. And, you know, I love this. I love hearing these stories. Some of these people like Will and Neil and Devon and Spencer are the people that I've noticed that the people that share the most wins are the people that are like the most active in these groups, and the ones that are participating the most. And like, that's great to hear. I've seen it in the accountability groups as well. So congrats, Spencer, man. I'm looking forward to this year and seeing what you do. And yeah, man, I want to, hopefully we can meet up in person this year and celebrate some of the success. Also, Spencer, I didn't forget, I didn't push the contest. Spencer won the contest. I got $500 coming for you. Put that with the rest.
Nice.
The next contest, you're not going to get a cakewalk. You're going to have to earn it. I'm going to really push it, but I'm 100% a man of my word. Whether the contest was pushed or not, you're the winner. So let me know how I can send you the money, and congratulations. Good work on it.
Thanks.
I predicted that the winner of the contest, even really though, they would earn more money than like the prize, right? Like the prize is just to try to like get you off your butt a little bit and to like light a little fire because it's a competition. So congrats, man. Yeah.
Congratulations, Spencer. That's awesome. Really
Thanks.
awesome to hear.
Yeah, honestly, like it had nothing to do with Patric. I'm just super competitive.
Yeah.
When I started to have that a little bit of that success in my closing ratio, you guys, once you're doing these audits for these people, like the closing ratio, like if you're getting on a call, they're basically buying. And I hate to sound cocky, but it's that confidence that I'm like, yeah, I just shared a shit ton of value with these people, and their marketing company that they're currently using hasn't done anything for them in a short period of time. And then, you know, they're looking on my personal profile and they're seeing all these proof before they even get on the call. And it's game over. You know, it's just, what are they looking for? What service are they buying?
The best time to prospect is right after you make a sale.
Yep.
Because that's when you're in the best mood and most confident.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. Super
Congrats.
cool, man.
Congrats.
Congrats. Who else has got some wins? Any final ones before
I
we
will.
kind of dive
This
in?
is hi, this is Sarah. I'm in the car because I have a little touch of bronchitis and I have to go into the pharmacy before they close in like 3 minutes. So the big win for me so far is that I've had to hold back this whole past year, it's been more of a strategic move, going through a divorce from a narcissistic man who was also financially abusive. And I don't want to bring down the energy of the group at all. But my point is that with divorce, I didn't want him to get 50% of my business. And so now that will be finalized, probably in the next week or two, yeah, you'll hear from me and see me a lot more.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats on
Thank
the
you.
separation from that is, I mean, it would be hard to grow a business when you got that kind of monkey on your back dealing with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing about Dave, I mean, I want to do a little tribute for him later, Dave Stowers. So this is my first time getting on your call since he passed. And wouldn't you know that the pharmacy is going to close in like a minute. So let me talk about him next time. But like the win on the silver lining on that is that his ex-wife of 14 years was like, he called her die-ass for devil incarnate. And she and I have been in conversation, and I made it over to his rental house where he was renting a house with a couple guys. I made it over there before she did. So I was able to get his computers and documents and all that stuff before she could get to it, because she would have no idea what he had. So like Dave is like, for those of you guys who don't know, Dave Stowers, like he was like super techie, super brilliant in behind a computer screen. And I adored him. Like he was funny and witty and creative and smart, and just so I want to carry on.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw in the group, but it was really obvious that he had touched a lot of people, and you know, maybe people that he didn't even realize that he had such an impact on, and it was cool to see. I've met him in person 2 times, and you know,
yeah, the last time was with me. Yeah, it was at the Reload in Vegas.
Yeah, you guys were sitting outside the bathroom there. I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and
Well,
like socially, he was a little quirky, and you know, just because he had PTSD, and just like it was hard for him to be social with people, but behind a screen or one-on-one, he was amazing. So
yeah.
Oh, the store is alarm going off. So let me I'll be back in a little bit.
Yep. Sounds
Last
good.
time was Costco, and now it's I'll be back. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. All right, guys. Anybody else got wins?
I got a win.
Emmanuel, what's up, brother?
Yeah, so I finally have my first wins of the year. So I started off the year like on the top, like so much money, employees, everything going perfect. But I did what you and I believe Devon were talking about, just overdoing it with websites, overdoing it with everything basically. And we just got way too ahead of ourselves. We just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And we weren't actually, we didn't have the finances to keep that going. And so we only had one client at the time, and which is a big mistake. So it was our first client, and he actually wasn't even making the full payments every month. So it was one of those things like we're kind of like letting him like walk all over us, you know, like he wasn't even paying us what we're supposed to. So anyways, like my entire business has been down for the past 4 months, due to financial reasons. We just ran through all the funds. But all right, here's the wins. All right, so I actually paid off $80,000 in debt. I have 2 more payments, which will be done in February, which is crazy. I'm $80,000 in debt. All right.
Yeah.
And then second one is just got 2 sites rented out today.
Wow.
And then there definitely was a third one. I definitely forgot, but just a lot of excitement, man. Like there just hasn't been too many wins, you know.
That's awesome, man. I'm digging the energy of the wins, man. You guys are coming out firing. That's awesome. What a huge mountain to kind of climb out from under, man. You're gonna probably reduce your stress level about 100 times over, and you can start using the money that you're paying off this debt with to build a business or enjoy life or whatever it is you want to do with it. You know, it's not going to be disappearing every month. So that's awesome, man. Big congrats. Okay. So, let's, oh, we got someone.
I had just real quick 2 wins, which is ironic this morning because I've been training a salesperson. So I said, okay, let me make a few calls. I made 3 calls and closed 2.
Wow.
And then she was like, oh, this is going to be really easy.
Yeah, this group's on fire.
Really just luck, but that
It's not
usually
luck.
isn't how it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's
funny.
Yeah. It might seem like luck, but it's like you keep putting yourself in that situation and like the people who work the hardest, the people that take the most shots, they're the ones that get the luckiest, right? So it's congrats, Shannon. All right, so
we got one more win, Patric, and then
one more win.
We'll turn it over. Rafael is carving out some of that market share from Devon. He got a new deal, $1,000 a month on junk removal.
He's picking it up.
Picking it up.
Devon Slack, man. Yeah,
Right.
junk removal.
Congratulations,
cool,
Rafael.
cool. All right, so I've got some announcements to make here, guys. One is I've got I asked our one of my good friends here, Jannery, I asked her to jump on the call. I'm going to have her talk for a little bit about she does things a little bit different. She's got a super cool guy. We got to spend some time together out when we sponsored the event, and they're kind of like a marketing power couple down there in Central Florida. So I'd love to hear what you're up to and just kind of have some of that shared so you guys get a different perspective. The second thing, starting on Friday, every Friday, Gabriel, the guy with like 3 different last names, Gabe Ryan, Gabe Davis, he's going to be doing a weekly call inside of our group every Friday. So I think it's at 2:30 Central. So it'd be 3:30, somewhere around that. We'll get it posted in there. But Gabe is not someone who has built a huge lead generation rank and rent business, but he is somebody that has helped and worked with huge companies. He's really good at business growth, and he's going to be hosting this weekly call, going over different launch strategies and just looking at business from a different perspective. Super smart guy. One of the guys I'm like stoked to be able to call a personal friend. And, we've lived in the same town for a little while, but we spent a bunch of time together at different events and stuff. If you guys haven't been around him, I think it's going to be a really awesome value add for this group to have him doing weekly calls. So starting this Friday. Okay, cool. All right. Another thing, accountability groups. I know there was a couple like last minute add-ons that wanted to jump in. I've got those sorted out. So we kind of change things up. I'm making the groups a little bit bigger this time. So we're going to go with like 4 or 5 people this time. And we've taken into account to try to like mix in your locations and your time frame. It's really hard to do this with all these different variables, as well as like the income that you had stated, so that we can try to get people that are dealing with the same problems, right? Last time I wasn't smart enough to consider that. So we had people that were like with $20,000 and others with like 500 or 0. So I want people that are going through similar problems and kind of working through together. For the groups that are maybe filled up with some of the starters, right, that are just getting started and they don't have big income yet. Well, excuse me, we can have other people coming in and helping you guys and use these calls as a way to help with those schedules as well. I don't want you guys to feel like you're going to not have the expertise because we're only with the beginners. But I want to do it so that you guys are working through the same problems and solving the same problems together. And that way, I think you're going to get more value. So just a recap. Okay, so I'm going to share this in the group with you guys. And there are a couple documents. So I know some of you guys, we had a really high number of people that are returning for the accountability groups. Seems like it was a really popular thing. So there's a few steps here. Okay, we've got like a spreadsheet with the 90-day goals, and we have this. So this is a part of what's going to be due. And what you're going to do is you're going to fill out your spreadsheet, and you're going to fill out this this template here, and you're going to change it and put in your information, and you're going to submit this to your group. So you should know what your group is up to. You guys, this is the accountability. It's almost like you guys are, you should know their goals, and you should memorize their stuff so that you understand it, and like get personal with it a little bit, right? So the first thing is like, it's really important that you get clear when you set a goal on what you're going to be doing, when you're going to be doing it. Paint that vision. Remove the question marks as much as possible. The more clarity you get on this, the higher your chances of success are, because you don't have to work through this. When we get confused, we procrastinate. And I'm trying to take that away from you guys. So you've got some questions to answer. How are you going to achieve this goal, right? So it looks like this one is like finishing a book. I'll make sure I'm reading a few pages of my book every day. This is one of my managers put this together. I actually would prefer that these are more like paragraph answers rather than like one sentences, and get a little bit more clear on this. So how are you going to achieve this goal? I'll answer this. So I am going to, I know that we've got the when question down here. So I'm going to read, I need to read like 17 pages a day. And, I'm going to be doing this on like Monday through Friday. Right. And then the when is going to also, where are you going to be when you're doing this? Like, what's the plan? Are you going to like, I'm going to be in my bedroom, like just paint the picture, right? Get really crystal clear on this stuff. So when, so that was like, hey, I'm going to be reading between 8 and 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, right? Whatever that looks like for you. Why is this important? So this is your why, right? So it's much better to get the emotional into this, create this emotional attachment to the answer to this question. And then let's talk about what the struggles are of this. And let's talk about how you expect the other people in your group to support you on this, and what their role is in this. So when you write stuff down, your chances of making it happen are a lot higher. So take your time with this. Choose your goals. I don't recommend choosing all business goals, right? If you look back on 2021 and maybe the end of 2020, and you had a vision for how you wanted the year to go and you didn't get there, like that's not all business related. Maybe some people want to lose some weight. Maybe there's a new skill that you want to learn. You want to maybe spend more time with your significant other, right? It could be relationship goals. It could be learning. It could be business. So I recommend having a mixture of this stuff, so it's not one-dimensional, right? And then you want to make sure you think about the cost. I've talked about this several times in the last month. What's the cost of this? So what's the cost of reading a book? Like reading a book is free, right? But what are you giving up? Are you okay with that? Is there somebody else in your life that you need to get, that they need agreement on this cost? If I say that, hey, my goal is to run a marathon, which means I need to be like training a couple hours a day, and like that's going to take away from this other time. Well, like make sure that everyone's on board, right? That's one of the costs, right? Okay, so then we have the sheet, the spreadsheet that is going to, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I have been closing all my tabs, and I had this open and I closed it, but I want to just bring this up. So the accountability groups, the way it's going to work is I'm going to put you into Facebook groups, and that is not it. I'm going to put you guys into Facebook groups, and then you guys are responsible for taking it from there. Last time I kind of hung around in the Facebook group a little bit just to kind of give you guys some support. I jumped on a couple calls with people. So that's how I'm going to structure this. All right, cool. I've got this now. All right. So this is the spreadsheet here. You guys, a lot of you guys have seen this before. So we're sticking with something that's linear, right? Reading a book. So you're going to read 2 books. This was from October when we did this. So that means that I need to read this many pages per week. So you check in once a week and see if you're on pace or off pace. If it's a linear goal, then it's easy to determine that. If it's not a linear goal, so let's think about something that's not linear. Maybe that's like adding revenue to your business, because like you might have to do a bunch of work up front where like, hey, I need to complete these things. And it's not going to be like, hey, I want to add like $5,000 to my business over the next, whatever, 10 weeks. So that's going to be $500 a week. That's not how it's going to work for some goals. Those aren't, so take that into account when you plan this out, right? All the different, everything that you can think of, the more clear you can get on this, the higher, the more you can maximize your chances of success with this stuff. So these are the two things that you need to submit to your group. We will be setting these groups up tomorrow. I've got some final decisions to make on this, on the accountability group stuff. So anyone can join. There's no charge or anything. It's just designed to help you guys with, kind of reaching your goals for these things. So the attitude that you want to have in the group is be a stickler a little bit, but a tough love attitude is good, but it needs to be delivered with the right warmth so that people understand why you're pushing them. But you're signing up for this and you're in agreement to be held accountable for these things. That means that if Neil says he's going to go to the gym 5 times this week and he only went twice, somebody needs to step in there and be like, Neil, you had set this goal for a reason. You're not living up to it. You've got to change what you're doing and really like get in place, or you're going to be off and you're going to miss your goal. So if you kind of like almost look as other people in your accountability group as your goals, there's a lot of leadership skills that can happen in here. I know Laurent, I saw him really step up and turn the screws on a couple people in his group. And I think that is phenomenal to do that. It's a great communication skill. And it's something that's going to transfer over into your team, but it's got to be done in the right way. People need to know where you're coming from on it. Okay, guys, any questions on that before we let?
Is there like a final call to get into the groups, Patrick? Is there like a drop dead date, and when are the groups going to be made? You said Friday.
Yeah, tomorrow. Really, I've already got the groups all divided up, but there's a couple people that wanted to jump in it, so I need to tweak it a little bit. So I would say you really need to be submitting today, and it's in the group. There's an account. If you search for accountability group, there's a form that you fill out. And then at this point, just send myself or Jeff a message to let us know that you added in late so that we can make sure that we get you onto a team.
Sarah's going to go do that right away. And then.
Yeah, I'll do that tonight. So like I said, I'm just jumping back in. This is the first day that I made it the whole day without like losing it. So so since Dave, but yeah, I'm ready to dive in.
Yeah, awesome, Sarah. Yeah, fill that form out, and just send me a message or send a message to Jeff, and we'll get you tossed into a group. So I think you'll get a lot out of it. I think from the people that I've talked to, I know that there were some people that dropped out of the accountability groups, and but the ones that stayed in it, like, they seem like they had a lot of success with it. I have a hard stop in 15 minutes, and I want to make sure I asked Jannery to jump on this call and share. So I want to make sure that we give her the mic. I think there's a ton of value with Jannery. She's somebody that's I really respect, and she's got a ton of knowledge. So Jannery, how are you doing? What's going on?
Hey, Pat, I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here. I missed this, to be honest.
I know.
You, Jannery.
Hey, Jeff. Yeah. No, I listen. I'm so happy you reached out, because just like it's a new year, there's so many things you look back and you're like, okay, I need to do better at this. I need to do that. And I told you this, Pat, the biggest thing for me is balance. Like, all I did was work. And, that ends up, it's just not healthy at the end of the day. So I'm very excited about the new year. I'm excited to be here. I'm now with my partner, which I never thought I would have, the man I'm in a relationship be my partner. I was like more about like, I like doing my own thing, and I don't know about the partnership thing, but it's been great. And so now we're like a power couple, like you said, which I'm very excited. We have great plans this year. We actually just invested in kind of like a digital franchise. So we invested in a digital franchise And we're really excited about that. That will actually potentially bring us into, $1.2 million annually. So we're really excited. It takes time for it to kind of pick up. We invested in that while we're working on our lead generation business. And also we started kind of working with our family as well, which is really cool. So I actually started my own little group with my family and getting them into a place where they can kind of discover their own gifts and entrepreneurship and whatnot. Because I didn't grow up with, my parents, highest went to maybe high school, if that, in Dominican Republic. So there's not a lot of education, a lot of stuff. They did what they can. So now I'm kind of taking everything I've learned through the years and kind of bringing it to my family. I got my nephew that's 17 all the way to my oldest sister, she's 40, and they're all like learning from me now. And it's just a blessing. And I just don't see myself and Joe, he's on the call as well too. Yeah, we
What's
both.
up, Joe? You hiding, huh?
he's hiding over there. You want to say hi, Joe?
There he is down at the bottom.
He's like, I'm not going to say hi.
Hey, Pat, how you guys doing?
What's up, brother?
Hey, guys.
It's good to see that beautiful face here there right there.
I like your face, Joe. He's like, I'm not showing myself. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. And that's pretty much it, what we're working on. Also on the lead generation side, since we're starting our own company, we're using these skills to produce our own leads. So we're literally creating lead gen sites throughout the nation for us, which I think that's pretty cool.
It's this is part of where I'm going with some of our stuff. I've kind of split the desire that I have for how I set up my sites into two categories. One is what I coach you guys on a lot is the high ticket and like not super mainstream niches. And then the second category is like ones that I could possibly own, where it might not be the most profitable niche to go into. Like if I was just like choosing to do this business model, but it is like there's certain ones that I think are very easy to turn into a business, right? And like I've looked at dumpster rental and the bounce house stuff. This like rental type businesses where I can have some like high school or college kids run most of the business, and I can be hands off. And instead of taking like 5 to 10% cut, I'm getting 80 to 90% of it, and I'm able to turn it into a business that can run on autopilot, and then I can scale across the country. So I love this franchise idea that you guys are in. Now, Jannery, I know I just want to kind of interview you a little bit and kind of like expose some of the stuff that I picked up on and the kind of the strategies that you use. I know that you do a lot of studying off the clock, right? And you're doing different coaching programs and like reading books. What are some of the big takeaways from 2021 for you that I know that you had mentioned, and you can mention other, like, I don't care if you mention other groups, that's not this type of group, right? And other people that you learn from that maybe somebody else on the call would really benefit from. Because you've like started out, I know where you were a couple of years ago, and you just seems like you're just constantly ascending. So do you have some of those kind of like big takeaways or like some other program or something that you had like a lot of learning from in 2021?
Yeah. Okay. So one of the biggest thing that, it's not really businessy or anything, but the biggest thing that I've gotten from 2021 is really diving into my subconscious, to be honest. And the whole thing with mindset and whatnot. And I realized how that is such the root of my success or anything I want to do. So there's actually a book right now that I'm reading that I highly recommend. It's like the one book that everybody and anybody should read. And it's called, I think I pulled it up here just to make sure. It's called The Genie Within. And it's by Harry W. Carpenter. And that book right there blew my mind. Like we can talk about sales, we can talk about how backlinks and everything about, but that right there will teach you how to get anything and everything you want just because you just do the, like, declutter the subconscious stuff and get yourself in the most pure genius of who you are in order to be successful in every level in your life. So that's the biggest thing I got from everything. Now I did find some groups and some, some sites where, do you want me to mention the site that is that what you meant by it or no?
That's,
Is that
that's
okay?
fine. I'm okay with whatever. I try to be an open book. This is,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So
This isn't, there's this one group that I was in one time where there was like, you weren't allowed to say things and like, it's like,
yeah.
that's not this group. Right?
Okay.
So,
The abundance mindset, not the scarcity mindset.
that's right. Yeah. So let's like, what is out there? If we can kind of create this community of sharing the value and, I try to do my best with leading by example. And I was happy to see that there was a post, sorry to go off on a tangent. There was a post a couple of weeks ago where it started to spin negative, and then some people jumped in and said, hey, that's not what this type of group, this group's about sharing and helping each other, right? So I love that community and attitude that we're trying to build in here. And, that's part of why I didn't want to grow this thing too fast is let's like make a solid foundation. Let's like kind of like a theme and an attitude for the group. And then we can build on that, and that tone can remain the way it is as we scale, right? So, but yeah, share whatever. I trust your
Cool.
judgment.
Okay, going back, touching base on that group, right? I have found, oh, my phone's picking up Google. I have found that, as an entrepreneur, obviously we have to invest in ourselves. So I discovered there are sites out there that has these different programs that will save you a lot of money, but it can get overwhelming. So if you want to go ahead and learn about, a certain skill, but you don't want to spend, $10,000, $7,000, $5,000, I go to my little program and I'm able to download the access. So that's kind of why I wasn't sure I should say this or not.
That's not the one I thought you were talking about. If you
But
guys,
I'm not going to mention. They can,
What's that?
you guys can Google it. I promise. There's all kinds of stuff out there that.
Yeah. So it's like, I think the way these programs work is you pay like a one-time fee, and then you've got like, it's like a downloading site where they have like, I guess I have like, hey, do what you got to do to try to learn. But also some of these people have worked really hard to build out their programs and stuff. I know that there was one that you were telling me about. I don't know if you got it from there, but there was like a, maybe you can share that. There was like a blueprint thing that you were talking. I think maybe you paid. Yeah. What was that one?
Okay. I did get that one. Should I name this? Should I say the name of it though?
That's fine. Yeah.
It's called the blueprint training. If anybody.
And you got a lot of value from that. And it was kind of like SOPs and stuff, right?
I mean, it's literally a business in the box. I'm telling you, like literally from your finances for business, how to hire, what the rates are, all the way to automation for every little project management. It's literally a one-click Google Sheets all the way. Like you don't really need all these apps or anything like that. And it's a full-blown automation. All the templates up there, the emails you sent out to your clients, it's like everything. How to do keyword research, how to do deliverables for your clients. It is SEO based, but you can apply that to your lead gen business. And now you can automate this using that. So I'm not really like using it like that. I'm mostly like taking that information and adapting that for my business and then implementing that. So, I don't want anybody to think like you go out there like stealing or anything like that, but just using that. And as an entrepreneur, you can still do the right thing, but just be creative and apply these things that you learn into your own business. So every time I see something like, oh, I can do that for my lead gen business. So, last year I kind of was just like, oh, I want to learn this. Okay, how can I apply this to my business and so forth. So I read a lot of books and it's been a lot of stuff, different strategies. And because what I've learned in the past through the years, I was stuck to one group and one thing. And it really, I wish I would have put myself out there and learn more and done my own research on things and learn, because at the end of the day, we're all entrepreneurs, and Patric's an amazing teacher. And I love this group because of that, because Patric has the right intentions. He's excellent at what he does, and he has a great heart, and he's the bomb and an expert at what he does as well. And he's not stingy. There's no stingy energy, no stingy energy. And I like that about that. You really care about helping other people, but we're all business people as well. We all want to make money as well. So it's such a great combination when somebody else gets greedy and whatnot. And then obviously that all turns in a different way. So, people can become millionaires, and, the wrong heart and the wrong person kind of just comes out a little bit more. But then there's the other one that becomes millionaires that have a great heart. It's just who you are. It just kind of gets bigger. It kind of just exposes itself when you have that in your hands. So
yeah, I appreciate that. It's I've had the same experience with you and Joe and so many other people. And you have to make these decisions. Sometimes it's not always easy to walk away from some of this negative energy situations. And but it makes all the difference in the world to do that. You've got to, like, for me, this was like looking back on 2020, I had this big realization. I look back and I was like, this wasn't the year I wanted, right? And I was like, from now on, I'm going to manufacture my years. I'm going to create the experiences I want. I'm going to like plan things out and schedule stuff. Like I have these two of my best friends, both live in Vegas, and they still play poker for a living. And we didn't spend enough time together. So I've never been the person to like plan out the trips and do. I like join when other people invite me, but I've been like focused on my own stuff. And I was like, nope. And I planned out like ski trips and other things. And we rented a cabin in like Knoxville, and like it was awesome. I took it into my hands, and that's what we have to do is we have to like plan and organize. Who we want to be is going to be based on who we spend the time with. So you got to take the time and be like, intentional about setting up these opportunities. Like we've already got Jannery and I and Joe, we already got plans to hang out in a few weeks, right? That's part of that for me. And I've reached out to some other people. Like I was talking to Caleb. I think we're going to set up like a mastermind weekend with Caleb and a couple of other people. And I'm planning this stuff because I want to be around these people like Jannery that are doing big things, that are going in this direction. And I recommend that you guys do the same thing. Find a way, like wherever it is, like put yourself out there. You can't just go swimming in the same lane and think that you're going to wind up somewhere different, right? You got to make these changes, and it's not easy. If it like, I know I've got someone that joined us in San Diego that lives out there. He's been kind of like in a rut for a long time, and he doesn't like his environment, and it's been hard for him to like make that change, and it's like has a tremendous effect on him, and we've got to like you've got to do what's necessary to get yourself to where you're going to go. It's so easy to stay comfortable with what we know, and like it could be an anchor around your weight around your leg, and you not even know it,
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You have to get uncomfortable, and it sucks because who wants to get uncomfortable? But it's the only way for us to get. It's almost like it's like a course you always take, and you just have to pass that course. Prerequisites to get you to the next level.
That's right. Yeah, it's like a video game. You got you got to do these little things next. So we got like 2 minutes. I actually have it's 2:30 in the morning here almost, and I have a meeting at 2:30 because I've been trying to connect with this person for a long time. But back in where you guys are, it's a lot earlier. So I've got to jump off here. But any final thoughts, Jannery? I'd love to have you back on these calls more often, and see your face on here and get some strong female leaders on here to give a different perspective. And if we can ever get Joe is a brilliant person that I had the pleasure of hanging out with in San Diego. I would love to have him on here if you decide that that's something you want to do, Joe. You're always welcome. Any final thoughts before we jump off here, Jannery?
No, I just want to say I am committed to actually showing up every Wednesday as I can. So this will be my first, official 2022 meeting, and I'll share more tips. I got more stuff up my sleeve that I want to definitely share with everybody.
Well, we're going to be together on the, I guess like 2 or 3 weeks from now on a Wednesday, I think. So maybe we can want to do like a live. I think Jeff's going to be down there with us. So maybe we can organize. I think before you hopped on, I was talking about how I'd like to organize like a group meetup. Neil said that everyone can stay at his house that's on the water for the rest of the winter in South Florida there. So.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, Pat.
All right. Awesome. All right. You guys have a great week. Anyone that wants to jump in those accountability groups, fill out that form. This is your last chance. Do what you guys need to do over the next 7 days to create some wins. And those of you guys that had those big wins at the beginning of the call, congratulations to you guys. That's awesome to start the year out that way. Carry that momentum forward. As Sarah said, the best time to make another sale is right after you close one. So use that momentum to like really just start off crushing this year and then make that a habit. You guys have a good evening. I will see you next time. I'll be in the United States. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Everybody stay warm. Stay out of that blizzard.
Great one, Patrick.
Bye. Have a good night.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
I'll let him know.